civil rights. You demand that I eternize your name. Walk ahead. You cover us in shame.
Hello and welcome to this Catching Greyhound. Thank you very much for dropping by and joining me in today's stream. Today we are again drawing something. We're drawing something from Vampire the Buffy Slayer. Yes, not my day. Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And thank you so much for dropping by. And yeah, well, hey Rayan, welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for being here already. And Donna, you may come for a bit. I hope you will be able to. See you then. And hello Kira. Hi. This is the tab where the music is coming from. Exactly. Isn't it good music? I like the music. Let me check if it is too loud. No, I think it is quiet enough. I make it a little bit more quiet. How am I? I am mixed. I am... Yeah, it's better. I wasn't that well. I'm still a little bit shaky. But I am already better, so I hope it will just go on like that. Hello Dana, welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for dropping by this early on already. Thank you, I really appreciate it. We are drawing today Jenny Calendar. I have to admit, I did not even, but I think there weren't any additional nominations. I think there was only... Yes, I just started with Jenny Calendar because I was sure for these two episodes it had to be Jenny whom we are drawing, so there wasn't even a discussion. I might have rigged the game if something else would have been voted for, because Jenny left us in these episodes. She got killed. So it's the last chance to draw her, and that's why we will be drawing her. And this will be the picture that we are drawing. Oh, let me check. The slideshow should not be activated out of the box. So this is the picture. I forgot I wanted to upload it already in the reference picture order folder on my Discord. So if you want to join in and draw the same picture, I provide all the reference pictures I'm using. Not for the longest time, but at least by now I provide them on my Discord. So give me 1 second. Buffy Club. And her name is Jenny Calendar. Okay. And then I should also upload the picture, shouldn't I? Join. There it is, my folder structure. I am pretty organized, but that means a lot of folders. So I have to find the right one. There it is on the Discord. So if you want to join in, Kira, if you want to join me in drawing this picture, you are more than welcome to do so. And you can find the reference picture on my Discord in the Draw Along Reference Pictures folder. Finally, you can draw with me, Jenny Calendar. Exactly, Kira. Okay, finally, and the last chance to draw her. So, no, it's not even the last chance, but that is kind of a minimal spoiler, and a spoiler that actually leads you probably into the wrong direction. But yeah, our Jenny here, she left the series, she left the building, so last chance. So many hours as you have already presented me with by watching my stuff here. You probably would surprise yourself at this point in time. So, Dana, how are you? And Rayan, how are you? Tell me all about how you are today. As I said, I'm a bit shaky still. But I really wanted to make the stream. I could not stream on Wednesday, and I really hated that because it is really a lot of fun. I cannot, for the life of me, I cannot find my white mechanical pencil. This is basically the same. It's actually the mine in there is a little bit softer. The white one is an HB. I think this one is a 2B. You do not really, and with mechanical pencils, I don't really feel that big of a difference with those statements numbers. Let me check. This webcam software for my smartphone always starts with a terrible beautifying filter that I always have to disable because it just hides all the lines. That's probably its job, but we don't need it here. So, okay, this is now our Jenny. I have redrawn as always, so we can jump right in. And then, hello Alexa, you changed your username. I don't know yet who you are. I don't recognize the picture. I probably should. I'm sorry for that. But welcome to the stream and thank you so much for dropping by. Let me start with the eye. So, we have quite big eyes. She has very big, beautiful eyes that we have to get right to make her look like herself. I have done a draw along video, my longest video yet. If you haven't seen that and you want to draw along, 42 minutes of tutorial. And I'm talking there about you have to find out what is the elements of a face that make it that special face and concentrate that those are definitely there. And for Jenny, I would say it is definitely the eyes is one of the big ones. Narcissus, welcome. Thank you very much for being in. Now I remember. Perfect. Thank you so much for dropping by. Anna is not here, at least not yet. I'm not sure if she will be coming. I know she wanted to come last Wednesday. I wasn't there. I could not make the stream. She's not here yet, at least. You're doing great, Dana. That's good to hear. Been using what I learned in the draw log and drawing my friend's daughter again to see if I get it to look like her more. And how did it work? Did you succeed? I mean, with the picture that you did of Tom Holland, it was really advanced, so you could definitely recognize him. So I would say, I hope with the daughter should be easy for you. Couldn't come to the other stream because of... Do not worry, as I said, the Wednesday stream, there wasn't even a stream because of my health. It was not as... very well, so there was no stream on Wednesday anyway. You did not miss anything. The only thing was yesterday my premiere, my very first premiere that I did. I thought for my first real tutorial video I could also do my first real premiere, especially since I could not make the stream on Wednesday, so I was there at least to chat yesterday. But do not worry about that. So far it looks way better. Perfect. I will be shading after the live. Why after? You can draw it together with me. Or are you now drawing? Jenny. So. This picture is very interesting. Details in the eye area, which I do not even 100% understand. The makeup is very interesting in that regard. You see, perhaps, you probably don't see it, but let me describe it a little bit for you. There is between the eye, the iris, and the is it the eyeliner? I have no idea. of where the line where the eyelashes start, there is a white bit of skin between those. So I'm not sure if it will help to actually add that, because it looks a bit... It looks realistic because it's realistic, but it looks a bit unfamiliar, a little bit auffällig. What's auffällig in English? A little bit... It stands out. I think that is definitely something how I can say it. It stands a little bit out, for me at least. And so I do not know how it will look for a casual viewer of my portrait. Those are situations where if you stay too close to reality, sometimes it might be that you are very close to reality, but it still somehow looks a little bit wrong, you know? Because it's strange, just. There was a shadow in the Cordelia one, which I actually made less intense as it was in the reference picture because of exactly that reason. So but there's no harm in trying to keep it first and then decide later on if it is something that is more distracting than helpful for the viewer's eyes. So I think the music might still be a bit... So my music is probably too loud. I have to turn it down so much that it is not picked up by the microphone. You know, the good thing about this microphone is that it is very much just picking up stuff that is quite near to it. That is sometimes a little bit... can also drive you mad. If you forget to get it too close, it's already almost as if you do not have a microphone at all pretty quickly. But in this situation I can actually hear the music without headphones on, and you should not be disturbed by it. So I hope. If there is something strange, audio-wise, something sounds like double music or something like that, just let me know. So, hello Liana, welcome to the stream. It's Liana and it's Akira. And congratulations, Kira, for finishing Final Fantasy 15. I do not remember the finale at all, I have to say, but what I remember is that I was thoroughly underwhelmed. I don't know how it is for you, and I also do not know if they have perhaps added story chapters since then, but I just vaguely remember that I was pretty underwhelmed by it. So, it's 1 in the morning, but my sleep schedule is already bad. Yeah, I remember it's always very late for you, or early, depends on how you look at it, right? For you, as well as for Anna when she makes it. But I'm happy that you could make it. So thank you very much again. exactly what you said. I actually just wrote the messages that you finished it. I did not read the follow-ups. So I did not read your opinion. I think Liana asked for your opinion, but I did not read your answer. I think I bought a limited edition or something, so I have one or two of those story chapters anyway. But I have not... I finished the game before they came out, and I did not replay my old save game. I was actually starting new at some point, but not very far. Because I liked the game, I was just really underwhelmed by the finale. It was just really... I really do not remember much, but I had this feeling of disconnection from the complete rest of the game. If I remember correctly, you have this completely new area that you then enter, and you can only get out of it by time travel or something. And it just felt not connected to the game somehow, you know? I never ask for opinions, I just assume that. And that is a lovely quality. And that is not true. So... I again have to say thank you, especially Dana, also to you for following my draw along. I had really fun with making all of that. I'm not sure how many I will do because it does not seem very successful in video form. So, but nobody says that I cannot make regular videos out of a draw along live stream. So. Perhaps I will already do something in the next week because I'm thinking about... Somebody actually also under one of my two Scarlet Witch videos was actually asking about a tutorial of drawing Scarlet Witch. And I was anyways looking for a reason to draw her in her final form, you know, in her new costume. So, time travel is usually a sign that the writers are out of ideas, says the Doctor. Well, the story is, I think, regular in time. I'm not 100% sure, but they solve their issue of playing still in an open, ongoing world, while they have already broken it completely in another timeline. You know, they just give you the possibility to go back and finish what you haven't done, even after a certain point in the story where they destroy it. So on the one hand, it's nice that they give you the option. On the other hand, it seems a bit clunky. So how is everyone's day? My day is pretty... What can I say? It was quite busy for my current health status, but I think this day, if I look at it isolated, it was a pretty good day, so I can't complain too much about today. How are you, Alexa? Doctor Who is... Oh, there is somebody to talk about Doctor Who, Liana. I still have not managed to watch any further than... don't even remember the actor's name. So I love David Tennant, and I did not hate the one that came afterwards, but we haven't finished his storyline. I actually drew David Tennant, Alexa. I don't know if you have seen that. I did not love the result, but it's also not my worst portrait, I would say. Which one is your favorite Doctor Who, Alexa? So we have the other eye that we have to draw in. As always, I have prepared a general positioning and a general shape drawing of the face, and therefore also both eyes, so that we can go into making the shape more concrete right now directly. And yeah, drawing directly an eye instead of measuring all the time. I will measure though, I guess, before I go too far here, just to be sure that the size is okay. You can never just measure on your own picture. You have always to compare to the original, obviously, because that is what you try to recreate. So, but we're fine. It works out. You're somewhere in the middle of the Matt Smith season. Exactly, Matt Smith. I think it was great. I've been looking for a tutorial for a long time that shows how to measure and get proportions right. Yeah, as I said, I really enjoy making the video, and we will see. I will probably make more of those videos. While they do, it doesn't seem extremely successful in terms of views, but I really think there aren't too many of those out there. Honestly, that's why I really made it. And even when I started to cross the 20-minute line, the 30-minute line, I just continued the same way on without stopping, really, just because I really am sometimes a little bit disappointed by tutorials that are out there that sometimes do not even have a commentary. A tutorial from my side is something you should be able to start it and follow it and have a result at the end. If it looks exactly like what you are trying to do, that's always another question. But there are so many videos out there that call themselves tutorials that are not tutorials, that I just wanted to make out of this video what I understand under tutorial. You know? Always a good question. Who's your favorite Doctor? People who don't know the show always look like they got hit by a car when you ask that. I look like I got hit by a car after watching the first episode. Well, the first episode is... What is the first episode, Liana? It is not the Are You My Mommy episode, because that one is actually one of the very few early good episodes. Creepy stuff. But I always had with the first season of Doctor Who, or even the first two, most, actually all of them, despite having, for example, quite good actors in between, they always have a little bit of this school play feeling. They seem always a little bit dilettante, a bit, also in terms of writing, a bit, how would you... Childish sounds negative, but it's not even meant negative. This eye looks a bit strange. I think it's in part because I do not really lighten it with a clear white, but it is much darker. Yeah, but not the biggest fan of the first... The start of that series. It took really a long time for me to get over this general atmosphere and discover the underlying mythology and stuff like that, which is real fun then at some point. It does get frustrating when you look for a tutorial and they don't explain. Yes, exactly. So also with my hair tutorial I used for good old Domino. Fortunately it's just a tutorial for hair, so you can just follow, but there was not even text in that tutorial, so it helped, but it would probably help much more if there would have been more explanation going along. So I perhaps overdid it with my video in terms of explanations and ramblings, and perhaps just too much that I wanted to put in there. But as I said, I just wanted to at least make this first one something that I am proud of, to call it a tutorial. You know, if somebody asks, can you give me a tutorial? I can say, yes, I can. I have one. The first episode is with the plastic people in London. Yes, I remember that. That is really terrible. We get to meet Hook-Nosed Leather Jacket Guy and Rose Tyler. I must admit I only kept watching because of Rose at first. It is difficult in the beginning because the doctor is, well, I am not allowed to use bad words here. I kinda like the actor. He made a good villain in the second Thor movie. He made a good villain in the terrible film version of my favorite children's books. But he was pretty nice as a bad. He can play a bad guy so much better than the. He also did not make a bad doctor, but David Tennant. The first 3 episodes made me want to never watch that series. Is one of those already the Are You My Mommy episode? Because that one really showed me personally that there was potential. You know how it is, or how it was when we already also were watching Buffy. Right, Liana? At least for me, it was always. Also, I was looking forward to see who was writing a new episode. You know, who was the writer? Because at some point you started to recognize the writers and knew, okay, I do not like that writer so much. But the Are You My Mommy episode showed me that there were pretty that there were somewhere talented people working on this, so there was hope. And I also knew that the whole world was... I was late again, of course, to get on the Doctor Who horse, and the whole world was crazy for that series, so it couldn't also not just be everything that you saw in those few first episodes, you know. No, it was great because when I was redoing my picture, I referred to your video to help me. Yay! That makes me happy. Thank you for watching it. Much more important. The actor is great, but he plays a very angry doctor, and I don't like that. Of course, that is on purpose. Yes, I think so. But a difficult one to get back into the series after so many years. I'm not sure how long-time fans from the original reacted to the different doctors. I'm not informed about that. The Empty Child is episode 9, that late. Did not even remember. And then there was Giles, right? In the first episode of season 2? Or was it season 3? That was also a pretty terrible episode. only half remember it. I would do a Doctor Who club. If it wouldn't just end in me in the Tennant seasons to always want to draw David Tennant. Dr. Donner, perhaps. I think we are on the right track. The right eye is probably a little bit too light, too much light in there, because it's really a lot darker than on the left side, but we might change that a little bit later. Before that, the series is very wonky, I agree. After that, we had pretty check hardness to Kyrus. Was he there for the rest of the season? I don't remember that he was there for so long. Just was season 2, episode 3. I thought that school reunion strange episode was the first one of the season, but I'm not an expert. I'd only watch a Doctor Who club because of our friendship. I won't do it, right? I won't make a Doctor Who club, don't worry. At least not at this point in time. If 20 people came to me and would say, I watched every single episode and every other video that you produce for all time if you start Doctor Who club, I would think about it. We'll throw in sharing all my videos via Facebook and stuff, and we got it even. So, but eyes on the right track. Now let's try the nose. I have to really... The thing is with the mechanical pencil on this grey paper, it is difficult to see. It is very reflective, it is very silvery, so I really have to look from the right angle to make sure that I see my pre-drawings and verify that I am not completely off. And I'm actually not completely off. I'm a bit surprised by that, but I take it. So... But you would watch the Doctor Who club. Kira, so that means a lot. Can we talk about passions? Do we have to? Okay, so we had 2 episodes again, as every week, for the Buffy club. And this extra monitor went down. I'm not sure. What's the name of the second episode again? I don't want to... We won't be talking about that too much, probably. Killed by Death. Ah, yeah, that one is actually also not very bad, but we're talking about passions, so it loses a little bit in terms of importance, I would say. I know what that means. Thank you very much. So, passions. This episode is terrible because we lose Jenny Calendar. I already said that. If you have followed Buffy and on the Buffy Club, we have drawn last time or the time before that Angel? Time before that, right? Or already 2 times before that? I'm not sure. Angel has lost his soul and he has become Angelus, the evil vampire that he was before he was cursed by gypsies, her family, for killing their beloved daughter many years ago, and he was cursed for with a soul so that he could regret and relive all those kills he did as a vampire, all that feeding, so he could feel the pain. and regret. He has lost that soul, and Jenny has been trying to give it back to him, which Angel did not appreciate. And somewhat understandably, he stopped her by killing her. And that is an extremely evil way he's doing that, and extremely psychologically damaging for Giles and just also for the viewer. Honestly, it is one of the most terrible deaths in the whole series. And she's a lovely character, but that is what you have to get used to with Buffy. Oh, you like that character? Don't worry, won't take long. So, I have this episode, I love the episode, I love to have this episode. Yes, it is a fantastic episode, but it is a terrible episode. This is one of the first episodes that really showed you what kind of brilliance you can expect, always shining through the cracks and sometimes really coming out with a serious, my opinion. Therefore still stands to show you some of the good episodes sometime. They won't have the same impact without knowing the characters, but still good. Yeah, I think actually Doctor Who is one of those series where you can, a couple of episodes at least, you can just take out of the context. There's a lot of Monster of the Week stuff going on. I'm so sorry. I'm taking new medication as it's bringing everything. The Trail of Rose Petals, yeah, still gives me goosebumps thinking about it. I had to scroll through the episode to find a good portrait, so yeah, evil stuff. Maybe I will be finished watching Lucifer and playing 8 and 10. Have you played 8 without me, or will we continue at some point in time, or have I missed the messages? It's not as if that could not happen. I should continue with the nose. I have to really cut stuff out. Right now I'm not 100% sure how to continue from here, so I fear the reason why I'm stalling a little bit, but now I'm measuring the other nostril. Because I either have forgotten it, or it's just so vague with this mechanical pencil on the grey paper that you can't really see it. So, just a little bit of shading so I remember what I was doing. Recently wanted to watch Dollhouse again, so we've not played after Pfingsten. Pentecost? Really? Really? Liana and we are thinking the same. No. So nose. Yeah, we're bringing the nose. This light here already also is quite an interesting light that, again, as I've been talking about with this area here in the eye, if we overdo it with making it look as it looks in the original, might actually hurt our product in the end, because it's just really strange looking shadow that might, or light more, not shadow, that might make our nose look much smaller than it is actually, and that could then hurt us while we try to get a similarity to her. So, does Echo count as a superhero? Echo from where? Echo the Dolphin? Marsha Pentecost is the boss in Pacific Rim. Fingston is Pentecost. Terrible. Hey Anna, welcome to the stream. Marsha Fingston. Let me see that without. Don't worry, I know it is late. Anna, don't you worry. But Narcissus already asked about you, if you were there. So perhaps she's still here? She changed her username. I've never seen Dollhouse. Still not. Pacific Rim is really funny. I love the movie. And I just decided that if I ever get a... I don't know why I connect that with a bunny rabbit, but I would love to have a female bunny rabbit and name it Rinko Kikuchi. Not that late, but my parents are getting... Don't you worry. All is fine. I totally understand. It is really late. Don't you worry. And tell your parents also that I understand, and greet them from me. So you have always to be careful with those shadows underneath the eyes so that it doesn't look like she had a lot of partying last night. At least not as long as she did not, and I think she did not, although she was probably awake a lot to try to find the curse again, to curse Angel again. Oh, you finished the certificate. That's a good thing. 5 minutes. We will see how long you will actually manage. Do you know the series? We were talking about Doctor Who. Anna, do you know the series? Thank you very much. I think the eyes are pretty okay. So it's a good start. So I think with all those lines and everything, there is a big danger. Her facial expression is very close to anger, but it is not anger. But in my picture, it could become anger. We will see. And I tell you what, I will be really cross if you don't send me anything. I told you, we will see. We will see. I also do not want you to compromise yourself and your rules by not receiving any name or age stuff from myself. I understand that you say I do not necessarily have to, but I don't want you to make exceptions. So either I decide to give you that information or I won't enter anything. So a bit further here, I think. Is my nose too low or is my mouth too high? I don't know. It looks a little bit. So, if you start a sentence by "I don't know if I should reveal," you probably shouldn't. So, what's the shape of her mouth? Is it too close to the nose? I don't know. And if so, should the mouth be lower? Or should the nose be higher? I don't want to redraw the nose because I like what I've already drawn, so probably have to lower. Although I think I can. I probably have been going a little bit too deep with the nose, and that can be comparatively easy repaired. And then let's just see where we come out of this. Here you have pretty dark area and go down to this. We had the name the other day, I don't remember it. And then probably a little bit lower the upper lip, and then we should be set. Hello Donna, welcome to the stream. Thank you so much. You made it. That's amazing. Thank you so much for dropping by. I really appreciate it. How are you today? Just a little bit of life advice, Anna. If you think perhaps I shouldn't, very often you shouldn't. So, better than yesterday. Yes, definitely better than yesterday. I'm feeling okay. I have, to be quite concrete actually, I have, because of my Borrelia infection, I have a constant ammonia poisoning, and ammonia directly goes to the brain, not in a damaging way, but I'm always a little bit mushy. So if I'm too much rambling, that is the ammonia, not me. Always the ammonia's fault. So, but yeah, definitely better than the last. I had terrible days the last few days, but definitely better. And I'm so happy that I still managed to finalize my tutorial. That was quite a lot of work. 42-minute video. Never produced that big of a video. So, we can never tell looking at you. I had a phone call, that's why. Oh, don't you worry. Oh, don't you worry. Hey, Art with me, welcome. So glad that you are also here. How are you today? I've seen, I really liked your, if you guys don't know, Donna is doing a lot with pores also. Is it called in general pores? I'm sometimes not that good with those art names in other areas. But a lot with color and the spinning and stuff. And the last one really looked like, you know, it reminded me of is it I think the third Pirates of the Caribbean, where there is this really big swirl in the ocean where all the ships are fighting inside and with each other, and with not being drawn into that whirl or water. What do you call it? I don't know. I'm a funny man. I hope in the good way. Believe anyone who says you are one day older than 30. I can reveal to you that I am older than 30. So, pouring. Okay, acrylic pouring. That's in part 3. What is in part 3? I lost track of the different conversations I am having, I think. A lot of different conversations today. As I said, I am a little bit mushy in my head, so I am very sorry. Also, I think every one of you knows that I am not a native English speaker, so just a quick reminder that if I don't make any sense, it might also be the language barrier. So, I am still not 100% sure about the position of the mouth in relation to the nose, but I think it works enough so that we can continue. Kinda want to still shrink the mouth a little bit. Pirates of the Caribbean part. Okay. The Whirlpool. Yes, exactly. If you don't send anything, I promise I will choose my favorite photo from you. Don't publish it with any name at age 30. And we will see. So, inspiring to say the least. Great. Thank you so much, Donna. I am actually very happy that I started to become much better in commenting on my videos. You know, when I started, it was really difficult to fill the commentary track, and I really wanted, at that point in time already, I wanted to comment as much as possible and not just have silent videos, because I really prefer those videos where something of the personality of the artist comes across, you know, just like you are also doing, for example, Donna and Anna often, not always Anna, but often. And so I'm so happy that I got better and better in speaking pretty fluently while still having to come up with what to say, so I do not really script the videos. I would not be able to do that. It is everything always pretty spontaneous. A little bit of research sometimes if I do not know a character well enough, or the history of a comic movie adaptation or something. I like to look that up before, so research is often there, but I do not write scripts or something, because I also know that if I would write it down, I would sound very much like somebody that is just reading something from somewhere, and I don't want to do that. So I keep it pretty spontaneous, and I'm very happy that I am getting better and better with less us and ums and breaks, and more fluid with every video. It's a great training. Great English training. Nothing would be better. The eyes of the pottery you're drawing are now amazing. Thank you very much, Out With Me. Thank you. You know why? Do I know? So, how do we continue? I think with a little bit of light. I really like the new gray paper. It is really fun to use because it is a lot darker than the other one that I had previously, and it really works much better with details. So my gray portraits before this paper were always a bit more on the rough side, I would say. And I always love it when I can play around with white pencil, because you see already just a couple of lines in there and it starts just to pop so much more. And even more for you, because as I always say, for me actually it looks less white, less intense. The whiteness is for some reason, I think the perspective is actually not something that the camera does. I think it is really the perspective and the reflection of the light that's coming much more direct into the camera, it seems. Me too, I talk too much sometimes. I don't think you do. I think it is a perfect relationship, and I really love also listening to you and your stories and your thoughts about what you're doing, because it is so different than what I'm doing. I really enjoy it to get to know that more, and the person. I think one of the most important things for a channel is the person that is doing it. And you just want to start also remembering stuff about people. You listen to what they are saying and you're thinking, of course, I would not have expected this differently from that person. And I think that is the moment and the way where you can get a following of people that watch your videos really regularly. You can get a lot of pencil portraits and you can get a lot of videos about pores, right? But you don't only get Donna in It's Art by Donna, and you only get me in Sketching Greyhound. And there might be people out there that are saying that's very good that there are not more like me out there. But I also tend to agree. So this line is pretty... This is more or less the only line that betrays that Jenny Calendar is a little bit older. Not old, but not a student. So we have to get that line right, because it gives us her age information. I would not think of going international if you didn't tell me. Very thankful for you for that. How many people have already, how many entries do you already have? The connection, yes. And I was a little bit envious of your really cool group. I was thinking I need also an artists group. I was actually thinking about doing something similar to what you have done, but different in terms of getting artists of different styles together. So Dana, if you are still listening, getting artists of different styles together for some kind of an art day, you know, going over across channels who are doing completely different stuff, to just give an overview of what art on YouTube can be. But just for now, was just a thought. Nothing I really following up. No, my parents have remembered me. Haha, terrible thing. Good night, Anna. See you next time. Thank you so much for dropping by for as long as you could. That would be a fun thing. I think it could be interesting. I have a collaboration premiering tomorrow, Call Across the Globe date night. That's cool. Have a great weekend, Anna. Have the greatest weekend. And we will talk soon. Good night. The collaborations are the best. I do that much too few because I probably have a little bit too high of a standard for collaboration. Not in terms of with whom I call. No, I want to have an intense collaboration, you know. I did, for example, one. I don't know if you have seen that. Oh, Cameron is here. Welcome, Cameron. Thank you so much for dropping by. How are you today? I did this video with that musician, Madison, and she's singing and I'm drawing her. So there is a big connection. I could also imagine, I don't know, I'm drawing something and somebody else adding to that portrait where I'm doing just the line work or something, adding color to that. Something like that to really combine. But that's not so easy. I do not have that many ideas also to how to do that and with whom to do that, so I'm not doing very many collaborations. So, no, the stream is not ending. Don't worry. I was saying just good night to Anna. The stream should be about 1 hour still. So I'm always doing those 2 hours. And we have only had 1 hour yet. I had one recently with, yeah, I think you've seen the video, right? The Supernatural, the Dean. That one also I very much enjoyed. So there was a very big thematical joining in terms of I'm doing the Dean and Mary has drawn, has painted the Sam, although it was a big it was bigger for her because she does not normally draw portraits, and hers was a really amazing watercolor portrait. I think she should do it more often, but I think she also had to invest quite a lot of time into that portrait, so she probably can't do it too often. But she does amazing watercolor work. So yeah, so how to continue? I would just put now in, what I'm now doing is adding a couple of her hair, just to frame the face, so that we know where the face is. The outline of the face and the shape will also help us with feeling if we are on the right track with the positioning of the eyes and the nose and everything. She also has a quite characteristic face shape. Not an easy shape. She has this here she has, I have no idea how to call it, but you know, she has the line direction changes around here and around here again and then here again, so it is comparatively complex. It's not just a rounded face or something, it is really a complex shape. Which makes it very interesting, but a bit more challenging to really follow. So, Dean and Sam. I really enjoyed, I had so much fun with my Dean. I worked so long, much longer than I normally do on portraits, but I think you can see it. I think still Dean is one of my most detailed portraits that I have ever drawn. It is really a lot of detail in there and a lot of time. So it was perfect for a collaboration. Really cool video, I watched it. Thank you very much, Dana. Supernatural, my kind of show. I have to say, I had difficulties with entering it, but you have seen the video. You have heard what I've been saying. I think you also commented on it. So you have listened, which I'm very thankful for. That I know that somebody listens to what I'm rambling in my videos. Thank you very much. But yeah, it was really... In the beginning, I wasn't that big of a fan. It took a long time till I said, okay, why not now closer look at the series? Let's see what it's all about. Why everybody's so crazy about it. And then I understood, but not the first time. I see drawing as a divine talent. That is a very philosophical topic. Dean was great. I'm actually not 100% sure why I drew Dean and not Sam for my picture. And I must say that at some point in time, sometimes Dean started to annoy me in the series, because he was a very consistent character, but that also made him a character with not that much growth. I'm still not through, so don't say, but in the next to last season or something. I still haven't seen everything. It might still change, but there is really not that much growth of character with Dean. Especially for both, with that constant lying and not telling each other the whole truth. That is such a terrible story element. And sometimes it is just lazy writing, honestly. But that can really drive you crazy. Which one is which again? Dean is not the one that played in Gilmore Girls. Seven was too quiet. Dean was the wild guy. Yes, and I think that's also the reason why I was not that happy with that Demon Blood drinking storyline, because it depicted Dean as a wild guy and that just didn't fit. On the other hand, the No Soul storyline for Dean was actually, he played that quite well, the actor. So that was quite enjoyable. I like that. I'm sorry. Gilmore Girl, that is info that helps me. You see? I know how to give you the info that you can work with. So, Yeah, but we probably won't start a supernatural club. Although, why not? I won't say no. If there were enough people that would be interested. Why not? There are certainly enough characters in there that are interesting enough to draw. And so far, and I don't know how it will continue. We should continue with watching it though, but this constant bigger, badder, higher stakes, I would have just loved to just go back. I'm not sure where are we, which season are we right now. I'm not sure. And I would just really like to go back for a full season of just less misery, more fun, you know. Yeah, Buffy fans, it's all good. I can follow Buffy, it will grow on me. Buffy is, as I told you, you are a David Boreanaz fan, and from the very first episode of Buffy, there is David Boreanaz. You should take a closer look at it. He is played in the first, before he started the Angel series, all the seasons, in almost every single episode, you have Angel. And in season 2, where we are right now, very exciting stuff with Angel. So, if you would not otherwise watch Buffy, you could start with the second season, and I think you would enjoy it very much. Let me make that prediction. If it would make you draw Felicia Day a couple times, I'd be all for it. She is in the series for a couple of episodes, so there are a lot of chances to do so. Could draw her as the queen in that LARP episode. I feel like I'm very slow, but we're not that far behind. Actually, I don't know why I feel like I'm not very productive. Probably because we have such nice chatting today. So I feel like I'm talking a lot, which is great. I love it. Don't run away now. So, yeah, I know that you have seen that episode. Making you talk too much. As I said, I love that. That's why I'm doing a live, right? If I wouldn't want to talk to people, I would not make a live. If I wanted to chat with you, I would just record this and make it a premiere or something. Like my 42 minutes premiere yesterday. I'm doing this because I want to talk to people. So there is no too much. There are teeth in her mouth that I have completely ignored up until now. I'm just right now thinking about it because it bothers me that there is a gray area in here, which I have not covered at all. So let me quickly make quick work of it. So we have at least a little bit in there, because it looks less surprised than and more like she's in the act of talking as she is. Funnily enough, I think Felicia Day actually laughs. That could be. I don't know. I don't know anything about her, but that she is. She was in this comedy group or something on YouTube also. And those are all heavyweight nerds who were in there. So I think she probably definitely has at least done it. But the series often makes such nods, so they are really, Liana, you would love a couple of those episodes. They're really funny episodes in there where they do not take themselves seriously and stuff like that. So for example, there exists, Supernatural exists as books in the series itself because a prophet of the Lord has written the story down without knowing that it is all true, and they get in contact with that fact that there are people out there that know everything about them. They get in contact with that fact from time to time. Not too much. It's not like that is constantly something that happens, but in some cases. And so there are instances in which they are mistaken for cosplayers of themselves and stuff like that. Or also very funny, the episode where they change reality and into their actors. So they actually meet Jared Padalecki's wife then, and they run around in the real world trying to find the way back and everything. That's also pretty funny. Especially because they are extremely good friends, those two, and in this reality they play as if they cannot stand each other, and they are big enemies to just play with some rumors that were flying around at that point in time. So there is a lot of fun in that series. The guild, yeah. The times when you play an RPG and get the notification, you have obtained a strange fluid. How could that happen? That's a good question. Why did I obtain a strange fluid? What on earth prompted me to look at the floor and think, oh, there is a strange fluid there. Let me pick that up and put it into my inventory. It's a good question. Well, but I don't know, Kira, if it is if the thought is helping, or even more disturbing if you think about something like meeting somebody in Gridania in a dark corner saying, hey, psst, listen, if you go into that dungeon and you find any strange fluids, bring them to me. I'll pay you well. Not sure if that is helping. It comes pre-bottled with the label strange fluid might be useful. That could be. It's less disturbing than my theory, I think. I would prefer to go with yours. So all the right side of the face is much darker than the left side, so we can of course just go for it, give it a first shading, and then start from there and bring in the different levels of darkness to give it more of a 3D look. But I think we can go even darker. It's just a decision. You can always decide how dark you want to go. I still want to have a lot of contrast with the really dark hair, so I won't go too dark with the shadow, but a little bit darker I think we can go. So I tend to be either less or way more disturbing than you are. Might be. So this is a bit not sure about the shadow on the nose is very interesting. Not sure how close we are. The thing is, as always, the quality of the video material isn't extremely good. So sometimes you're missing a lot of details that you'd like to bring in, and I think this is much too small. It makes our nose now look extremely small. Not sure about that nose. Remember Ragnarok Online, sticky mucus, yes. Let's all pick up that sticky mucus. Wait, I don't know, perhaps it's a well-known delicacy or something in the cities. I was actually very recently looking if there was a time where there came out it felt like there were 2 pretty playable MMORPGs coming out every few weeks. No wonder that the market got quite saturated at some point, so no wonder that that did not continue. But there isn't anything really interesting, promising coming out anytime soon. There is this, I have not heard anything about that. There is this Amazon one upcoming, I think, not too far off. At least they have the money that there should be something interesting coming out of that. We will see. Yeah, we already knew that. So the nose is the weak point in this picture. It really annoys me to a certain degree. Also, I overdid it with the shape of the face. But we will see that better once the hair is there actually. And we can correct that. I think we have a certain level of recognizability of her, but the nose is a bit terrible. My stupid news thing offered me the best headline today. Did FF11 kill WoW? Well, I don't know. 14, 11. She looks gorgeous to me. Thank you very much, Donna. I am doing my best here. But the nose is... I'm always very critical in my lives about my own work, so seldomly really happy with what I'm doing. So why did the music get lower? Without me changing anything. But it looks quite loud actually. I will turn it down a little bit more so you can hear my rambling better. So okay, so let's continue because we actually have still half an hour left. I am amazed. Normally time is flying when you have fun. I'm so happy actually that I have finally a pencil in my hands again. Haven't drawn now for a couple of days, and while I have drawn, only started in June last year or something, and haven't drawn for years before that. It grows on you quite quickly again. Which is not the worst thing, is it? So there's worse things that you can get used to when drawing. I think we need a little bit more of light on this side of the face. The good thing with those whites is you can actually pile on with other pencils afterwards, so I can just shade and also just erase and add shadows even on top of it if I want to. Yeah, so we have this shadow area which I have ignored up until now, which will also help us get a lot closer to the original. So yeah, I think that helps actually with recognizability. These areas around the cheeks are not looking very difficult, but they are actually some of the most, I cannot say they are some of the most difficult, but they are more difficult than you would think probably. They look pretty boring and not that much of different shading and stuff like that, but there are differences in light and shadow. And if you draw this area, for example, which is a little bit darker, too big, then it looks like she has kind of a hole in her cheek or stuff like that. So it is actually pretty important to get that shading then in proportion correct. And there is always pretty little information in such a picture to really help you. There's not that much that you can measure, for example, because you do not have fixed lines or something. You have only very slight variations in color, and that makes it quite difficult to get them on the right position, if you understand what I mean. It's difficult to explain, and I'm not that good in explaining. That's why I took 42 minutes for a tutorial to explain. So we have here an ear. There's not much of the ear that we can see. Still, we need a little bit of information there. And then I fear we have time to start with the hair. Then we will still work a little bit on the shading here. I think we can go a little bit further with the eyes. Probably also the eyebrows. A bit more intense with the contrast. I think in that song we are hearing right now there is a slight tone, like a ringtone in there, that I had as an old, very close to what I had as an old telephone, which is a bit annoying. So, and we should give this more I had actually fun with World of Warcraft for quite some time, and if they just brought out a new one, an actual new one, and not just an update, I would be interested. It's also quite a shame that Overwatch did not become a massively multiplayer game as it was originally intended, because the whole topic of a superhero MMORPG is still so completely underutilized. I actually considered downloading DC Universe Online again the other day, just to be able to play a superhero MMORPG. I think there was actually a update for the new consoles for DC Universe Online, so still seems to be active. Oh, thank you, Donna. Can't sketch to save him. It is all a practice thing, and you have a sense for art, so I would actually think that if you would just take the plunge and try it, you would probably surprise yourself. And I know a good tutorial out there that you could follow. Or just come to my next draw along. It is a lot about it is about the eye, you know, just seeing, understanding, and then you of course have to translate that onto a paper with your hands And that is where the practice comes in. The watching, but also the how to use the tools. And a lot of my drawing is subconscious. So that's why I can talk so much while I'm drawing, because I'm not concentrating that much. I'm letting my fingers, my hands do the work. And so it's all practice, as with everything. So, but I can't run away from the hair forever. Do I find anything else that I still have to work on so I can escape the hair? Do I have to go for it now? Well, we can start with a little bit. As always, I will sectionize anyway. So let's see how we sectionize the hair, and then we can slowly but surely start with adding hair in. So what here I am sectionizing very strategically, where I see highlights. You know, here for example there is a hair, how do you call it, not a lock of hair, but you know, a bunch of hairs is here, where you have here a clear highlight and here is clear darkness. So here you have another strand of hair that has in itself a certain reflectivity that differs from the next one. So these are really not just sectionized so that we have sections, which is often the case. I just sectionize to just have different sections that I can work on, but the differences are not as big. Here we have big differences of where the reflection is. So that's why I selected this as it is, and then we can start with the hair. So we have a lot of darkness, and the highlights are not extremely bright, but we will still add in a couple of areas white to just make it more striking. That's why we have the gray paper, to make it all a little bit more popping. With the hair, as always, it is all about layering. A lot of people blur the first layers, which can give it a much more realistic, much more balanced look, but it doesn't fit my style, and I'm not that good at it, so I'm not doing that. Thank you, Art with me. So, and then we have here again the highlight much further to the left. So that's why this was a very clear and easy section to make. And the darkness goes very far in here. So I'm talking my tutorial a lot about hair and how I am doing it, so I do not want to just rehash that for the 100th time and bore you with the same descriptions. So if you want to know more about how I do it with the hair, then you can find it there. But I am not exactly a hair specialist, so depending on what kind of hair you want to draw, there are very good tutorials out there that are specialized on hair. And there are so many different kinds of hairs, and no way of drawing hair works for all of them, at least not in the same way. So here, for example, we will add a little bit of white because there is a lot of shining in that hair, but we won't overdo it. Sometimes I'm putting in a lot of white in hair. I think here probably not. We will see. Might be that I change my opinion when we have drawn a little bit more, but I think I want to stay less white with this very dark hair. So and from time to time, don't forget to sharpen your pencil again, or you have a not sharp tip, which kind of can break your illusion. So and as always, I just love my Blackstone pencil because I can add so great dark, strikingly dark areas. And that's what helps the hair to look decent, because I'm not that good at hair, but you know, it's a little bit like dancing and hairography. If you use a lot of contrast, it can distract very well from the fact that perhaps from the general technique it is not really sophisticated. I mean, it looks decent, I think. And that's all contrast. So this has to work, because as we have talked about it, it's the last chance to draw Miss Calendar. So I have to make this worthy of her. I enjoyed her character very much in the series. I really liked her, and I was more forgiving than the characters from the very beginning with her backstory, and that she kinda was there to have an eye on Angel, and they all felt betrayed, and I totally got that she did not have a choice, and I think they should have been more forgiving also with her. But well, that's just my honest opinion. I think you make it look easy, and it's not. Do I make it look easy? It is not. And I don't think hair is easy. But I have to admit that I am starting to get better with it, and also with managing to get a look that I am happy with in context to how the rest of it looks. You know, sometimes I have these. For example, I'm very unhappy with the hair in the Drusilla portrait, but she has very difficult hair to draw. It is very straight, very long. You cannot really draw any horizontal sections or something. You have to go all the way, and it just did not work out. And I like her face also. There is not that much detail in there. The shading is comparatively flat, but it works. But the hair breaks it to a certain degree, I think. So, And I'm starting to get more often to results where I say, it works. Not I'm overtly happy and I think this is the best hair in the world, but it works. Now I'm thinking about, should I even add the earring, or should I leave that out? But I think I have to add it. This is a bit more light here. A lot of light is shining on that hair. On the other side we will be much darker, and it's actually again much more difficult to get that looking right because we have less room to navigate in terms of light and darkness. So some more details into the strands, but more high contrast. Again, and then we have to draw finally the earring, or we won't be able to anymore. And we will mostly draw it out of light, because obviously we do not have that much color that we can work with in a black and white portrait. perhaps a bit blown to the right direction, but what can you do? What can you do? So I also have to consider, of course, the neck and everything, but I pushed that back because because of these shadows that the hair throws on there. It's always a bit strange and awkward to draw the neck before you have drawn the hair. I normally draw the neck first still, but that is just because I so much like to postpone the drawing of the hair. So but it's not a smart thing to do. And then we just give it a couple of highlights. Just a bit, not too much. And then we have that part, that side done. And she looks now very strange because there is a lot of weight now because of the hair there. And we will only be able to really see her correctly when we have added that. I hope that is what's going on, or I am completely out of touch with how this should look. Something is really bothering me about how it looks right now, but I think we really have to draw the other side first. It goes so dark that there is really a lot of detail what we don't see at all. So we have to do them justice. Well, that doesn't necessarily makes it easier for us. So we will start here, down here with this lock of hair. And then we have here this one. Then we have this, and I think actually this might go further in, but it's so dark you cannot really see it. So I think that is a good start that we should work with. First, music is gone, right? So need more music. We have a little bit of an area where we can here still consider to join a little bit of white, so we have to use that and really do that. But there's not that much highlights on this side. Here it is almost impossible to really discern between shadow and hair. Now this is a lot of skin what we actually still see, but there is just not enough detail. Now we can really decide that. So we will go back to our important method of drawing what we see, not what we know. Hey RK Arts, welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for dropping by. How are you today? We are drawing Jenny Calendar from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So, and we are already at the hair, which we don't always manage. But for some reason the Buffy streams are a bit faster than the others, I think. Feels like it. I don't know why. This is really dark, so you do not even see many strands, but I still draw some in there because you always see a little bit through all the darkness, so you feel a little bit of the structure still, so it's good to have some of that in there underneath. So this is so dark. I have left open here an area for highlights, but we do not really have highlights. They are much darker than what we called highlights on the other side, so we will hide a lot of that underneath blackness. And Mr. Squeaky is back. Finally, the pencil squeaks. So, like this side is giving you a little grief. Yeah, the darkness is working in this amount of darkness, you know. On this right side there is a lot more shadow than there is light. That makes it a bit more challenging. And while when I'm looking at it like this, I'm pretty happy with it. When I'm looking at the camera picture, I'm not as happy with it as I am when I'm looking directly at it. So I don't know what caused that. I was a bit too far out, but no one will notice. Yeah, Mr. Squeaky. It was called a long time ago. That pencil was called Mr. Squeaky by the chat. So that's the name that stuck with it. Mrs. Squeaky was actually another one of them. This is a new one that I started when the other one went too short. And when pencils are shorter, they do not squeak anymore. Actually also works with squeaking chalk. You can break chalk that squeaks in half and it should stop squeaking, or you have to break it again. It's still too long. Yeah, but I'm not drawing that big areas lately, so it has been some time since it squeaked. So but now we are pretty far with the hair. There is actually also here again an earring. Let's just bring in a little bit of that just as a little reminder. And then finally the shape of the face is really important here too. Now limit. Where the hair starts, where the face ends. I feel like my rendition of her looks more like a 70s version of her hair. Looks a bit old-timey. We are squeaking again, I'm sorry. There were some people who were really allergic against that sound. I am very sorry if this sound annoys you. I cannot really break it in half. I probably could, but I don't want to, because I want to use it. And that would take quite a couple of uses off of it when I would break it in half. So that is the first version of the hair. Pretty much advanced. Just really filling it out a little bit to make it more dark directly to the face. And I think this is an area where we need to bring in a little bit more smoother shading that I can bring in with this pencil, because part of that is still skin and it looks very different to that area, so I would have to bring that a little bit together. A bit of contrast in here. Yeah, but I think it's not too terrible. Yeah, but I think good timing, because the 2 hours are up. What we are still, of course, missing is this down here. But face-wise, we are pretty far. As always, a little bit of distance will help me with seeing some of the areas that I'm perhaps not seeing right now, where I should shade more. Here's, for example, the forehead still needs a bit of work. There have still to be some areas that need to be adjusted, a bit brought together, that are not yet coherent. Stuff like that, but all in all, we are pretty far along. Yeah, I would say. So a little bit of smoothing in general of the shading. I'm always a little bit more rough on the Buffy portraits. For some reason I think it fits the theme. I'm not 100% happy with this area, perhaps just it's too light. The lips are too... It looks a little bit like a zebra, so I have to go in there probably. And nose probably again, this area. I'm still not 100% happy with that. Yeah, but I think that's all for now. So I will get back to this in a couple of days, probably. Finish this and then finish up a time-lapse video for you, as I always do with my live streams. So if you want to see how this grows from start to finish, you can do so in the time-lapse video that I will release next week of this one. Do not miss out on that, so subscribe and ring that bell, that notification bell, so you get informed when I release the video. And yeah, as always, live streams on Wednesday and Friday, always the same time, so 2 hours before right now, about there. You're always welcome to my lives or my videos. Thank you so much, Donna, Dana, Liana, Kira, Anna, everybody who was there. A lot of people that end up on A, as I just realized. Thank you so much. I think you shouldn't be. Thank you so much, Donna. I always am. It's part of my charm. I hope. I hope it's charming. Thank you so much. I wish to all of you the greatest weekend. And I hope I see you soon again on your channel, on my channel, whenever you have the time. Loved spending time with you. And goodbye.